Let's continue. Now we will create a one-to-many relationship between the subject ID field in the framework table and the subject reference in the apprentices table. So I will go to my database, then database tools, relationship. I want to create relationship between these two tables, so we will keep your finger on the control and then select, then click OK or add. Now we have these two tables, subject ID from framework table. This is framework table. We have subject ID with subject reference. Okay, subject ID, I will click on it and move it to subject reference, and we have one to many to, so we have done with the relationship. Now use the form created. No, we don't have a form here. We want, for example, to include all of these new records to our previous data base, the already exist tables. Okay, so you have to just copy and paste each new record under and paste it under each field. Okay, but you have to remember two important points. First, you have to start with the primary ID field, then continue, so you will not face error. The second, you have to check your data entry for errors. How to check? If you receive any error, you read it and check. For example, sometimes they will give you the primary key that is already exists in the data, in the previous data. So simply you can delete the previous one or change one letter or one number in the previous one, and it check if you have your new record already exist in the data. Now this question, which is a very important one, using fields from both tables produce a tabular report that, if we want to produce a report, we have to do a query first. Remember this point, don't forget it. Okay, and that select the records where these are the criterias that I will apply to my query that will be after that will be used to produce a report. So I have some fields I will apply on them a queries, and some fields I want to show them in the report. You see here, show only the fields. So these are the fields that I want to show inside my report, and these are the criteria that I have to apply. So sometimes you can apply the criteria on different fields and you want to show different fields. So in your query here, you have to select both field names, the queries fields and the report fields. Okay, let's see. We have subject reference, and this is the criteria that I have to apply. It should be 436 or less, and so this is our new field name. Level, this is the second field name, doesn't include the higher. This is the criteria. Then we have vacancy, another field name, and this is the criteria. Then contains, we don't have a field name. Contains, this is a sentence, read carefully with me. Contains a new field called extra field, which is calculated at runtime. So we have a new field. This field will be calculated at the query runtime. When we reach it, we will continue. Then we have a vacancy field, employer name field, learning provider field, framework developer field, wage, level, and also the calculated field, which is extra wage. Okay, so we have to go to create our query and select all of these field names and calculate the one which will be calculated in runtime. Okay, so we have to go to create query wizard, simple query wizard. Then we have to go to select from the first table subject reference level vacancy. So you will go here, we have subject reference, we have level, we have vacancy, and what else we have? This field will be calculated during the criteria, so we will wait. Then we have vacancy, it's already selected here and here, so I have already selected employer name. So I will choose employer name. Then learning provider and framework developer. Okay, let's check. This is the learning provider, framework developer. It's not from apprentices table, it's from the framework table. So I will choose a framework developer after I have already select framework table from here. Then we have wage, level, wage. So wage is not here, I will go back to the apprentices table. This is the wage. Level is already exist, I have already selected during the criteria. Then what we have, extra wage, which is the one that I will calculate it through the criteria. Then I will show you, I will show it. Then now we have already selected all of the fields that we want to apply the criteria on them, and that I want to show inside the final report. Next, no need to name the query, and if they ask you to name it, you can name it. Then we will click modify. We have our query design here. We want to apply the criteria and create the new table. Okay, the new calculated field, which should be at runtime. First, subject reference 436 or less, so I will go under subject reference, less than or equal 436. Then the level, not include higher, so I will copy the word higher, and immediately under the level I will write not higher. And the vacancy, include the text warehouse, so it means the text included under the vacancy. I will see any line has warehouse alone or inside a paragraph or inside a sentence, I will choose it. So I will write the criteria like this. Criteria like, I will use it every time if the question asks me my text should include this word. Okay, so vacancy includes the text means I will use the criteria like. Okay, I will go back here and paste warehouse and just do another star. Now we want to include the calculated field, which is the extra wage. I will copy it. Okay, this field I will calculate it during my criteria running time, so I will paste it and put columns. Why? Because I want to calculate it. I want to calculate it based on one of the exist field here. Let's read the sentence carefully. Which is calculated at runtime using the data from the wage field and reducing this by 3%. So we will reduce the data in the wage field by 3%. It means I will use 0.97% from the wage, which means I will use 97% from the wage. So I will just simply multiply the wage with 0.97, okay? And we have to show our answer in 2 decimal places, okay? So I will multiply which field? Wage field. So I have to open this kind of brackets because I want to do calculation here, and write the wage. You have to write it in same spelling, okay? Then you will just multiply it with 0.97, and we have to show this field. You click here, okay? Then let's see, save, and let's see our result. This is our result. This is subject reference level based on the selected criteria, okay? You see here in the warehouse, we have in each line the warehouse. There is no hire here. All of the values are selected less than 436, and we didn't apply anything here, but we have to select them on the final report. If you see here, the output is wage, and if you multiply this each number here with 0.97, you will have this answer. And don't ignore this important sentence. Show the answer with 2 decimal places. So I have to go back to the design view in the wage and click here. You will find the format here. You just choose 2 decimal places. Let's see if it is working or not, okay? Datasheet view. You see it is not working. We still have like 4 decimal places here, 2 decimal places, 1. So why it is not working? Because this field is a calculated field. So we have to change it to the fixed value and save. After that, if you go back and check, you will see that 2 decimal places is working well, and everything is okay now, and we have done with the query only, okay? We will continue the report in the next video.